An interlude. Anyway, so I was just saying, just to finish this off, I was just saying that those some of those older, 50s, 60s, kind of older Mexican men, a little bit stooped over, and we worked in the fields all their lives. There's just something about them, There's just some kind of love in there, and there's some kind of presence they have. You just respect them. You just feel there's a salt of the earth, something. I don't want to put them into silly words on it, but I mean it's like there's something there. I like those people, and they were nice, even with everything that they were good. They were restrained, but they were good. The kids were happy, and the mother, she was a good cook and a good woman and strong. Nice. Anyway, okay, so there's my, riff on what this trip is going to be. I don't know. Whoa. It's going to be a real challenge, I think, maybe. Well, we'll see what the Almighty does. Okay. Bye-bye. I got a little distracted there because when Son came over and then we talked about some other things, so I didn't really, looking back, I didn't really quite take up the thread. I was saying these kids, in the fields, they're working pretty hard, and part of it's just a natural thing. Get out there, work hard, get the thing done, and that's that. And that's just natural to do that. No use fooling around, out in the hot sun and everything. But but some of it is because somebody's trying to make money off of them. They're trying to survive and have a life, and somebody's trying to make money off of that fact. How does that work? Why is that? Why do we permit this? Don't you think it might be better if we all kind of pretty much had, I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I mean, like, if I had some people that I care about over to eat with me, and I had some really good food. Let's say I had some really good food and just enough for me, because I didn't know they were coming or something. So they come over. Now, what am I going to do? Well, I don't really want to eat that good food, and then they don't get anything. I don't want to do it. I'll now's a good time for me to kind of, take up the steep path. I did it the other night. I had some food. I made some food up. Son got up. He wasn't going to get up. It was just about enough, don't tell him I said, but it was just a kind of a slightly large portion for me. And I thought, well, maybe he'd like some rice too. Some good organic rice with some good organic soy sauce on it and some butter and some salt. It's pretty good. Tasted really good. And I thought, I'm going to do that. Take the steep path. It means kind of go against what you sort of want to do right then. Because you're being guided, or you're feeling some humanity. And so I did. I said, would you like some? You want some of this rice, son? He goes, yeah, that'd be good. See. So I gave him half of it. He liked it. And I had half of it, and it was funny for me. See, things work out that way. It was enough for me. I didn't need all that rice. So I'm just saying, if we love each other, we feel love for people, we'd rather share, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we rather, maybe it might seem like a bit of a thing, but, go ahead and share it. Then if you set that example, you share, then people are likely to take it up too. Well, yeah, let's share. And so then you're sharing around. The first thing you know, you got a lot of happy people around. I was watching, I gotta finish this off. I just watched a great film. I recommend this, My Perestroika. Amazing, you know, these wonderful people, these Russian people, wonderful people. And they were talking about, you know, because they were getting all this kind of, you know, thing at them, we're all going to be good together, we're going to do all this stuff together, and then, you know, most of them never made much money or anything, but they all kind of were part of a community, and they they were telling them a lot of stuff that really wasn't quite, you know, they were covering over stuff a bit and things, but, you know, basically you could see it was sort of a benign thing. We're all going to work together and do stuff, and, you know, there was some positive impulses and directions, and so they were pretty naive, those kids, and they took it up, and you know, and then eventually it all fell apart. But you could see in the society a change when, because they had it was a documentary, and they had a lot of film of them. You know, actually the people looked pretty good. They had their own apartment, and they had a job, some job, gosh, only knows what it was, you know, and you can think, boy, it might not have been fun. You'd think so as an American, think, oh, that would have been, oh, I couldn't have stood that. But, you know, there was a trade-off, but they got something from it because it was stable. They would work so many years, and then at the end, they would sell their apartment, and they would get the same amount, you know, as they would be taken care of in the same way. In other words, they were provided with enough to live on. They always had plenty of food, and, you know, so. And then, you know, it changed over. But I have to tell you what I saw, you know, when I was amazed at it, because I had a different conception of the whole thing entirely. But I saw a lot of people having a pretty good time. And then when they changed it, they let the Western values in, you know, say anything, wear anything, dress anything. Everybody got a lot more tense. Now, maybe they're more alive, maybe they're more aware, maybe this and maybe that. But, you know, they didn't look as good. They didn't look as carefree. And, you know, they got kind of worried, and then they got kind of having to do this, and then there's nobody looking out for them, and they're on their own. You know, all that stuff you can say, that's good stuff, sure. But it's also good to look out for each other. There has to be some sort of a balance in there. You know, some way of doing that that doesn't involve a lot of BS, you know. And I think doesn't involve, I'm kind of getting, you know, at this point, I've always been, you know, I've been a card-carrying capitalist all my life. Boy, I tried to make a lot of money, got in the stock market and did a bunch of things trying to make money. Didn't work out for me. I could never get to the bottom of what the thing was, you know, because I try to do things in a righteous, you know, in a virtuous way. You know? Not soft-hearted, but virtuous, you know. Didn't want to be sneaky or, you know, take advantage unfairly. You know, I don't mind being smart, a little smart, try to be smart about things and stuff, but not in a way that would take advantage of somebody else's weakness. No. Well, I couldn't do it. I don't know. Didn't make it. But as I'm getting on here toward, you know, the inevitable conclusion of my life, I'm getting pretty unhappy with, you know, rampant materialism and capitalism. It does seem like it works out very well for people, and the end of it is not a lot of fun. And because, you know, there's all the things on the earth, and then there's this thing that man made, money, you know, That's how he regulates everything. And it has its points, This is a way of reducing the amount of. Oh God, I'm going over my time limit of an hour, and I have to put more. Anyway, just to finish up, reducing the amount of, making things easier to move back and forth and stuff. Yeah, there's some advantages to it and some good in it. But the trouble is that people are pretty clever. Man's pretty clever. So the first thing he figures out some clever way to abuse that system, which was originally, should have been, if that's what it was for, and what we're talking about, a good thing. It was just for, being a more intelligent way of moving things around. I don't have to, move my lumber over your place. You don't need the lumber, and then keep trading this huge piece of lumber or whatever it was, and move something else. It gets pretty. So yeah, money certainly has some use or idea of it, but it leads to so much mischief. And because it's realized what you did or what you're doing into something, so it can be taken away, or it can be I don't know. I'm not happy myself with capitalism. We need to figure out a way, or we need to be inspired to, have a way of doing things with each other that's fair and good, and isn't something that can be so easily abused as it turns out that money can be, so misused and leaves a lot of people, because, as I've said, in free money, you can look at my video on free money. Well, what happens is the guy makes a profit, but there's a loss on the other side. It's a zero-sum game. It's not because he says, because it actually cost him to work, and he does that thing, that's fine. And then he charges $10 for it, but if he makes a profit, if he charges $12 for it, then the person who's getting it, the real value of what they got is only $10. So if they pay $12 for it, they've got to come up with another $2. So you're constantly getting this false value out of, that's what you get out of profit. It's just a word somebody made up. It's a nice word. It's saying, I'm going to charge you more for this than it's actually worth. What do you think of that? How's that? Would that be good? See, that's what it is. Anyway, so there we are. So I just want to say that, well, that's all I need to really say. Alright, so see you next time. There you go. Bye-bye.